Well, how's it going, everybody? Marley Cross 316 back with another comic book flashback. We are now going to look at Amazing Spider-Man issue number 15. This issue came out in August of 1964, and as we continue looking at the Rogues Gallery of Spider-Man villains, we are now going to be introduced to another classic villain of the Spider-Man universe, and that is this guy right here, Kraven the Hunter. An awesome villain that I'm hoping to see in the movies one day. I would love to see Kraven the Hunter in one of the Spider-Man movies so that he would be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think that'd be awesome. Or they could put him in the Black Panther. I think Kraven the Hunter is a Black Panther villain as well. I would just love to see Kraven the Hunter in the films, but nothing less. Let's go ahead and look at the story for today. If you're new to this series, you don't know anything about comic book flashbacks, what I do is I review the story, I look at their artwork, and I just give you the story. I'm going to reveal everything about the story, what I think about it, and just if there's first appearances come up, I'll explain that as well. So here we go with the first appearance of the Kraven the Hunter. And also we need to give credit where credit is due. So we have Stan Lee writing this story. We have Steve Ditko doing the artwork and Art Simek. So the cast here is continued to be the same with the people that's been contributing to these issues. Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, and Art Simek. They've been doing this for 15 issues straight, and they've done a tremendous job. So we're going to start out the story with usually starts out with a bunch of crooks doing something, armed robbery, and that's what we start here with Spider-Man. He catches these crooks with armed robbery, and when Spider-Man is fighting off these guys, he notices that there's 4 people in there, but this guy right here jumps out the window. Now, how does Spider-Man not see this guy jump out the window? I don't know. But this guy jumps out the window, and we see something peculiar about this guy. He uses this chemical gas to instantly change his identity. So that's something. So is this guy a regular crook or is he something else? So Spider-Man notices that there was 4 guys in that room, but now it seems to only be 3. So what's really going on here? Well, we come to find out that it's the Chameleon. Now, we haven't seen the Chameleon since issue number 1. If you haven't seen that issue, I reviewed that issue way back in an earlier video. Go back and watch that. I reviewed that comic book. That's the first appearance of the Chameleon in Amazing Spider-Man number 1. So this is his second appearance. He makes his second appearance here. Chameleon rethinks or pretty much has a flashback to the past. This is an image from Amazing Spider-Man number 1 where Spider-Man fought off the Chameleon when he tried to get away, but to no avail. Chameleon was caught and he was deported because we know that the Chameleon, he's a spy and he's not from America. He's from somewhere else. I can't remember where. So that's going to play a good deal for this story. We know that the Chameleon here is in America illegally. He's here illegally, so that is going to affect the story. Now, the Chameleon, while he's thinking about how he can pay back Spider-Man for what he's done to him, remember, Chameleon, he's just in exile right now. No one knows where he's at. They don't know he's in America. The Chameleon says, I have an old friend. His name's Kraven the Hunter. I think he would be the best partner to have to finally defeat Spider-Man. So the Chameleon gives Kraven a call. Kraven gets the call and says, hey, we'll come to America. I have a plan for you. So word comes around. Somehow J. Jonah Jameson hears about Kraven the Hunter arriving to America. Kraven is coming from Africa. And we learn a little bit about Kraven the Hunter as he makes his first appearance right here. Here he is right here, dressed up in cheetah outfit, or cheetah pants rather, and just looks absolute badass. I tell you, he's an awesome looking villain. I tell you that. That's for sure. We also see the jealousy between, or just the jealousy of Betty Brant towards Liz Allen. Remember, Peter Parker has been seeing Betty Brant for quite some time, but Liz Allen has continued to show interest towards Peter Parker. Betty Brant cannot stand Liz Allen. So we have that going on, this little love triangle here. Kraven tells J. Jonah Jameson that he's going to hunt a man, a particular man, and that is Spider-Man. So that's why he's come to America. Now, J. Jonah Jameson does not like Kraven, or he does not like Spider-Man, but we know that J. Jonah Jameson is a law-abiding citizen, and he does not want Kraven the Hunter. He warns Kraven the Hunter that, Kraven, I understand you want to attack Spider-Man, and that's fine, but do not break a law. Do not try to kill this man. And Kraven says, we'll see about that. Now, the story breaks up a little bit here as we see this gorilla breaks from this cage. A bunch of wild animals come on the loose. Peter Parker changes to Spider-Man to get things back in order, but Kraven the Hunter seems to have everything under wraps here. He knows how to deal with these wild animals. Remember, he's coming from Africa. He's been hunting all his life. He's a expert hunter, and he knows how to deal with wildlife. So we see a little bit of Kraven the Hunter's abilities here in this issue. Steve Ditko showing a lot of great artwork here as to the abilities of Kraven the Hunter, and it goes to show the power of Kraven the Hunter and what he can really do. So Peter Parker is just like, he's shocked to see the power of Kraven the Hunter. And so you remember, he's working for J. Jonah Jameson. Peter Parker's working for J. Jonah Jameson. So J. Jonah Jameson asked Peter Parker, did you get any photos of that? And Peter Parker, out of all the excitement, said no. So we got some problems here when, you can't take photos and J. Jonah Jameson's right there with you. That's not good. So J. Jonah Jameson's mad at Peter Parker for pretty much the rest of this issue. And here's where Kraven the Hunter reveals that he's going after Spider-Man. So we can see the fear in Peter Parker's face right here. Oh crap, he's going after me. And we see again, Betty Brant cannot stand Liz Allen. And she can't stand Liz Allen calling Peter Parker P. So she uses that a lot in this issue, which is really good. We see the Kraven the Hunter and Chameleon working together, trying to scheme together on how they're going to defeat Spider-Man. And so they begin this scheming by having a bunch of crooks on a rooftop to distract Spider-Man so that Kraven the Hunter can scope out his prey. So Kraven the Hunter from a distance watches Spider-Man in action to determine what he has to look forward to when he finally gets to fight Spider-Man for the first time. Spider-Man shows off his unique abilities. He takes off all four of these guys with ease. It's not even a problem. Spider-Man runs right into Kraven the Hunter, and here we go, the first battle with Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter grabs Spider-Man right in the air, throws him on another ledge of a rooftop. Some great battling here. And what happens here is Kraven the Hunter cuts Spider-Man open. He cuts him open with one of his, I think it might have come from his belt here. Scraped up against Spider-Man, and because of that, we have Spider-Man being dizzy for most of the issue here. It's going to affect his senses. So Spider-Man runs because he knows this is too much. He needs to clear his head. So for most of the issues, Peter Parker has to deal with shaky hands. So Chameleon is like, how in the world, or why are you so happy about Spider-Man? He's dangerous. And Kraven, you know this, but Kraven thinks it's great because the harder the prey is, the harder the opponent is to fight, the better the reward. So that's Kraven's philosophy. Now, right here, we learned that Aunt May has been talking with her neighbor, and she just so happens to be Mrs. Watson. And if you are familiar with the name Watson, you know it refers to Mary Jane. But she doesn't make her name in this comic book. It just says Mrs. Watson. So Aunt May says that she wants Peter Parker to go on a date with her neighbor's niece, and Peter Parker agrees. So we have that to look forward to. We'll see if that happens. Betty Brant continues to scold Peter Parker for liking Liz Allen, but he tells her, I'm not going for Liz Allen. She just likes me, and you need to just be quiet about it. I don't have any interest towards Liz Allen. Peter Parker sees Kraven the Hunter right here, and Kraven's basically saying Spider-Man days are numbered. So let's go ahead and move on forward a little bit here. We see the effects of what Kraven's potion has done to Spider-Man. His hands are shaky. He can't even shoot a web line real good. So Kraven the Hunter and Chameleon decide, let's finally set the trap. So we're in Central Park here. This is where the main battle is going to take place. Spider-Man is uneasy about this. He sees Kraven the Hunter walking, but then there's Kraven right behind him. So are there two Kravens? No, remember, Chameleon is the master of disguises. He can come up with all kinds of disguises. He can look almost exactly alike as the other people around him. So Spider-Man's caught in this net, and Kraven the Hunter puts these two shackles on Spider-Man, and that's going to affect how he fights Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter has the key to help him to get these shackles off. Just some great artwork here. I'm talking about some great artwork. But despite Kraven the Hunter and his cunning and even the unique disguises that Chameleon has, both of these guys cannot outthink Spider-Man. That's for sure. So let's just see some great battle scenes here from Steve Ditko, which I really enjoyed. This issue is really great. I really did enjoy this story. It's a great first appearance of the Kraven. Spider-Man catches Kraven right here in his web, and Spider-Man uses Kraven's key to unlock the shackles. The police are investigating why the lights are out, because Spider-Man thought, if I can turn out the lamppost, then the advantage is mine, and it sure did. It was a great advantage. Chameleon is caught, and so is Kraven the Hunter. Spider-Man gets his photos, and James is like, alright, these are the type of photos I like to see. Betty Brant says, hey, I'm not doing anything this afternoon. Would you like to do something? And Peter Parker remembered that he promised Aunt May that he's going on a date with his neighbor's niece. So he says he can't. He comes back to the house. Aunt May's like, I have some bad news. Her niece has a headache, so the date's been canceled. Peter Parker's like, alright, now I can finally call Betty and tell her I can hang out. Betty refuses to answer or even listen to Peter Parker. Then Peter Parker's like, alright, I'm going to call Liz Allen then. And then he finds out Liz Allen is with Flash Thompson. So Peter Parker's luck has run thin to the end on this issue right here. And we see right here at the end, Kraven the Hunter and Chameleon loading up on a ship, and they're being deported out of the U.S. And that's how we end this issue. And we also see that the Amazing Spider-Man Annual is coming up, and so watch out for next review here for the Amazing Spider-Man series that I'm reviewing. I'm going to show off and review the Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. That's coming up next, and so I hope y'all go ahead and look forward to that. Go ahead right now, like this video, subscribe if you have not, comment down below what you like, and I'll see you next time.